We have Android 15 security and privacy features are the updates highlight. So as of this past Tuesday, Android 15 started rolling out to Pixel devices and will arrive through various third-party efforts on other Android devices at some point. So being a privacy and security podcast, there's a lot of things in Android 15, but we're going to focus specifically on the privacy and security stuff. So some of the most notable changes involve making your device less appealing to snoops and thieves and more secure against the kids to whom you hand your phone to keep them from quiet at dinner. I don't know if that's when I would hand my kids my phone, but I'm not a parent, so who am I to criticize? There are also smart fixes for screen sharing, OTP codes, and cellular hacking prevention, but details about them are spread across Google's own docs and blogs and various news sites' reports. So thank you, Ars Technica, for combining them all into one place. So, up first, in the Android 15 settings, you can find private space, where you can set up a separate PIN code, password, biometric check, and other optional Google account for apps you don't want to be available to anybody who happens to have your phone. This could add a layer of protection onto sensitive apps like banking and shopping apps, or hide other apps for whatever reason. It is more involved than Apple's hide and require Face ID tap option, but with potentially more robust hiding of the app. And once again, reminder, we're trimming these stories down so they kind of explain why they think it might be a little bit more robust. The next one is a new permission likely to be given only to the most critical of apps, which prevents the leaking of one-time passcodes to other apps waiting for them. And I believe, if I remember correctly, the way they describe that is a lot of the time when you log in on your phone and you can choose to autofill from Bitwarden or whatever your password manager of choice is, and it'll automatically copy. At least for me, what happens a lot of the time is it fills in username and password, and then it automatically copies the TOTP, or that little 6-digit rotating code. So that way, once the next screen loads where you put that in, it's already in your clipboard and you just paste it, which is super handy for the record. I think what they're saying is now certain apps, it won't automatically copy them, and it'll kind of, I forget why it's supposed to be more secure, but it's designed to prevent against malicious apps. You have to go and manually get them. Sharing your screen will also hide OTP notifications along with usernames, passwords, and credit card numbers, which is somebody who screen records for a lot of demos. I really appreciate, because I've definitely forgotten to redact things before.
Oh, yeah. So that's huge.
Theft detection lock on Android uses AI to sense if someone has yanked a phone and is rapidly moving away with it, automatically locking the phone if so. Google's security blog post on the feature suggests that it uses on-device machine learning to analyze various device signals and determine if a device was, quote, yoinked. That is a very technical word that Ars used. Why do I keep saying theft? If theft detection didn't work, there are at least two backups. Offline device lock activates if the internet connection is disabled on your phone, and using another device, you can remote lock at android.com/lock to quickly lock your device with a phone number and a security challenge. Those three key features, which are theft detection lock, offline device lock, and remote lock, are not exclusive to Android 15, but are rolling out along with its release. Users as far back as Android 10 should get a Google Play service update to enable the features, but you will have to go into the device settings to turn it on. I think we talked about this one too. Google Play Protect will start using on-device AI from the private compute core to analyze additional behavior signals related to the use of sensitive permissions and interactions with other apps and services. So basically, they're trying to do on-device machine learning to detect any potentially malicious apps. Should strange happenings be detected, users can send the suspected app to Google for further review and disable the app from a notification in the meantime. Android 15 will also tell users when they're using unencrypted cell connection to prevent potential interception or injection of their traffic or SMS messages. So stingrays, for example, we've talked about those in the past. For those who don't know, they basically are cell tower emulators. They will intercept your traffic and try to decrypt what they can, which on, I think it's 2G or lower, is basically just like opening an envelope. It's so easy. Certain at-risk users, such as journalists or dissidents, can be alerted to potentially false cellular base stations or attempts to identify their device, but these features are not on by default and require OEM integration and compatible hardware. Google says it expects adoption over the next couple of years for other devices. I think a lot of more modern devices, with the exception of Samsung, last time I heard, EFF wrote an article about that, most modern devices like iPhones and Pixels can turn that off already, I think. I could be remembering wrong. But yeah, this is becoming a more common thing for sure. I wish it was on by default, but I guess some areas are probably still not using like 5G and 4G. Should a thief or snoop have access to your phone before you can lock it, Android 15 has instituted some smarter defaults for making changes to deeper settings, and these include changing something in the Find My Device setting requires either a PIN, password, or biometric verification. Logging in multiple times with the wrong PIN or password will lock the device for a while, which is great. Google says that enhanced factory reset protection will make it harder to wipe a device if you don't have the owner's Google account credentials. Identity check is an opt-in feature that always asks for biometric authentication when changing critical settings or accessing passkeys from previously unused locations. And let's see. There is now a device to toggle for sending your device name to network and Bluetooth connections. Great. And Android devices put into lockdown mode now entirely block USB data access to accessories and computers, which should block attacks over ADB channels. And I would assume from context, things like Celebrate. So really cool stuff coming from Google. Still plenty of privacy concerns with Google, but it is cool to see them rolling this stuff out.
Thanks for watching this clip. It's actually taken from the Surveillance Report podcast, which is our full-length podcast where we talk about privacy and security news every single week. We post it on YouTube as a video. We also post it on PeerTube for those of you who don't like YouTube. And we also post it as an audio version that you can find on every major podcasting app, as well as just RSS. Check us out either here on the screen somewhere or at surveillancereport.tech, and stay up to date out there so you can keep yourself and the people around you safe.